Hey guys, DynastyWarriors6 here again with another top 10 favorites game, or favorites of a certain system. I decided I sadly cannot do N64 currently, even though that was slightly recommended to me by a couple of YouTubers, so I'm missing a couple games, sadly. I've loaned one to a friend, and currently I'm missing that one for the top 10. So I decided to do the next one of the next best systems. I jumped into the as you can probably tell the title, PlayStation. PlayStation 1 specifically. PlayStation 1, I remember distinctly having a lot of great games. Now, my top 10 list is definitely not the normal top 10. Like, there are some games that a lot of people would consider top 10 on their personal list, but there's a lot of games on here on my personal top 10 that are just like really like, whoa. So, I'm going to start off, of course, with the bottom. I bet a lot of people can guess what number one's going to be. So, you know what? In fact, I'm just going to kind of cut to the top number one game early on just to kind of get it out of the way. Because everyone already knows. Final Fantasy IX. I think I've explained it enough times in enough videos already. Top 10 favorite games of all time. Top 10, just top favorite games of all time. I've made it very well known that Final Fantasy IX is my number one game. Music, story, characters, everything. This is my favorite game of all time. Favorite game on PlayStation. That's just it. So number one, if you didn't know, everyone usually knows already that one. So let's do 10 through 2. Get those guys kind of done and out of the way. So I'll just set that there. Number 10 is a classic beat 'em up. I particularly like this beat 'em up on PlayStation. It was one of my favorites back in the day. I used to play it quite a bit with my brother Daniel. Was Fighting Force. Made by Eidos, the same guys who make the Tomb Raider series. With Core, Eidos, all that. Fighting Force was a great game, I thought, when I first played it. You play it now and it definitely shows its age. But back then, when it first came out, I thought it was pretty revolutionary, personally for myself. I love playing the game. Me and my brother Daniel used to always be the dudes. We were never the chicks, because the chicks were really, I don't know why, they just seemed really weak. But I was always a really, really big boy, and my brother Dan was always the skinny guy. And we just go around. The cool thing is you grab guns off the ground, you can shoot guys. You just beat the crap out of guys. It was really a fun game. I remember playing this game for hours on end. So, if you've never played Fighting Force 1, definitely try it out. There is a sequel to it. I actually don't own the sequel yet. I saw it at the Portland Retro. I almost bought it, but I decided on something else. So next time I'm probably going to get the sequel. But if you ever get the chance and you haven't played it, definitely try it out. It's a good beat 'em up. It's not terribly great, but it's a solid title. So number 10 on that one. Number 9 is, of course, a classic fighting game that I think if you didn't play growing up, you definitely missed out. You should definitely play it if you haven't still, is Tekken 3. Tekken 3 is just a solid title with just great characters, awesome looking design. For when it was released, I thought it was extremely revolutionary. I love the characters. The villain at the end is Ogre, and he grabs Miyamoto. I forget his name, Hayashi. And he becomes giant, big ogre, ugly guy. But it's a great game, great fighting game, a lot of fun. I thought it was better than Street Fighter for a while at first. Now Street Fighter is definitely probably the better out of the two. But for a long time, I thought Tekken was better. My brother Daniel, hated it because he's a big Street Fighter guy. Huge, big guy into that. So, definitely a good game. If you never played it, get it, try it out. Awesome game. That was number 9. Number 8 is one of my favorite all-time just play-around games. You could spend hours just fooling around, trying to unlock every little achievement, getting all the little things, is Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2. I loved the intro to Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2 because you get to see all those great skateboarders doing all these great tricks. It's just a solid title. Matt Hoffman's Pro BMX. There's Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1. But 2 had really kick-ass music, really insane tricks. It was, I think personally, it was the last great Tony Hawk Pro Skater game. 3 was okay, but 2 was just, like, it was 1, but it was amped up. The graphics were a little bit better. The story, not the storyline. It wasn't much of a storyline. It's just skate around, do tricks, score points, and, do some kick-ass moves. And you can make your skater better by, unlocking different, attribute points, making them better at spins, faster. You could do, all that stuff. So, really great game. If you never played Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2, try it out. It's a lot of fun. Definitely give it a go. It's a great game. Highly recommend it. That's number 8 though. 10, 9, 8. And number 7. I had an issue for a little while trying to decide which one I wanted to put in because which one I put more time into. But I decided to put Resident Evil 2. I think everyone can agree that Resident Evil 2 is probably the one, if not the best Resident Evil game on PlayStation. You know, Resident Evil 1 long box was good. You know, Resident Evil 1 in general, even if it wasn't long box, if it was just regular, was a really good title. Resident Evil 3 Nemesis was good. Survivor was good. Director's Cut was good. But 2 just seemed to have everything in it. It had a great story. You got introduced to Leon and Claire. Claire, the sister, of course, of Chris from the first game. Leon, this guy you really didn't know, but you started to really fall in love with. And it's just a solid title. It's a great game. Tense moments. A lot of crazy stuff. It's just one of those great games that you can never go wrong with. I think this one is completely complete. Yep. Love that. And it's just a great title. If you haven't ever played Resident Evil 2, definitely play it. I think anyone would tell you it's a highly recommended title out there. So next up is number 6. It is Spyro Riptos Rage. I actually had a tough time with this one too, just for the fact that if I wanted to do Year of the Dragon or Riptos Rage. I played Riptos Rage more though, so I had to go with the one that I knew better, and the one that me and my brothers played all the time. And Riptos Rage was just a fun title. It was whimsical. You know, Spyro was doing his thing, breathing fire, headbutting bad guys, taking care of business. It's a great game. I got the nice holographic collector's kind of edition, like little one. Very cool to have. I love the game. It's just fun to play. It's just a whimsical little game. If you're like really not feeling tough, hardcore, God of War, gritty, Spyro Riptos Rage, it's just a solid little title that, you know, can lighten your mood any day of the week. So then number 5 is Crash Bandicoot Warped. Number 3, Crash Bandicoot 3 Warped, whatever you want to call it. It is, Crash Bandicoot Warped is just one of those great games that was just amazing. I loved, like, number 2 was good, and 1 was okay. You know, 1 was okay when it was good when it first came out, but if you look at it now, how the Crash Bandicoot series went, 1 was okay, 2 was good, but 3 just had everything. You know, you could go back and do the time trials, get all the emeralds, all the, you know, do the best time, and, you know, all that stuff. It was just amazing. You know, and you trying to find all the boxes is harder than you think, because sometimes, like, those levels where you're being chased. It was just a fun game. The boss fights were fun. The maps were inventive. It's just a lot of great stuff in this game, and you know, you could play it for hours, and it's just a fun game. And I love all the villains. I love Tiny. Clancy Brown is the voice actor of the Evil Mask. He's the voice actor of that one. If you don't know who Clancy Brown is, he's the guy who's done Lex Luthor. He's done tons of voice roles for villains. He's been a bad guy in a lot of different roles. So I love him as a voice actor. He's like one of my top 10 favorite voice actors, like with Johnny Youngbosch and all them. So it's funny to hear him do the voice of that. It's really deep and evil. If you haven't heard it in a long time, definitely take a listen to it again on YouTube or something. Check it out. Really cool to hear that. So number 5, I believe, right? 7, 6, 5. So number 4. I'm sorry, I always get in trouble with these sometimes. But number 4, one of my favorite games I picked up when I was little. The story behind this game is, and it's Bushido Blade 2, number 4. My cousin Michael back in California was playing this game, and I was visiting him in California. I was visiting my relatives down there, and I was without my parents, because it was just us kids there. And my cousin was playing this game, and I didn't know what it was. And these guys, you know, they have swords, and they're doing slashes and yelling "hi-yi," you know, "huh, huh." And I was kind of like, okay, this is kind of weird. I never heard of this game. I go, what is this game called? And he goes, Bushido Blade 2. And I went, I've never heard of that. When he reset it for me, he let me see the intro. The intro is really intense. The music goes from like traditional Japanese to like electric guitar, metal, rock. It's really cool. I was instantly hooked. I've played this game to the point where I've basically unlocked everything. I had all the swords, all the warriors. You know, I've beaten the game on perfect, where you never like got touched. You just defeated everybody easily. It's a fun game, voice acted. You know, it's all voice acted in this one, which is really cool to see and hear. It's all English dub, so that's pretty cool. Because the first Bushido Blade wasn't English dub; it was English subtitles. So this one did have English dub, and I have both of them. But the Bushido Blade 2 was, for me, just the better game. Way better. So number 3, and this was the tough spot between number 3 and 2. I really had to, decide between these two. But number 3 is Vandal Hearts, number 1. I have Vandal Hearts 2. I haven't played Vandal Hearts 2 yet. I've been meaning to. It's just I've been really busy right now with economic problems and stuff like that. So, anyways, Vandal Hearts 1, though. Great game. I love it. It's just like Tactics in a sense of the place your guy, attack, magic, arrows, all that stuff, healers, magicians, ninjas. It's just everything. And it's just a fun game. It's got a good storyline. It's slightly cheesy. It's, sometimes the dialogue, what they say and write down is just kind of funny. But overall, it's a great game. Very dramatic, kind of gory. Like when you kill somebody, this blood just shoots out of them like a fountain. It's just like a sprinkler head just shoots off. It's kind of funny like that. But overall, a great storyline. Konami made it. If you have not played Vandal Hearts 1, definitely try it out. It's totally worth the money. If it's on PlayStation Network, if you have PS3 and you have PlayStation Network and it's on there, I don't know if it is or not. Download it. It's only going to be like $5-10 or something like that. Download it. Try it out. I promise you, it might, it's a little slow to start, maybe a little bit, but it gets to the action fairly quickly. It's a good game. Very good game. And number 2 for top 10 PlayStation games, and it's definitely, now a lot of people don't like this game. Some people don't like this game because they think it's bad controls, bad everything, the voice acting is dumb, but I think Mega Man Legends is a fantastically well done game. I think it gets knocked a lot just because it's very blocky. The environments are very, they're 3-dimensional, but they're 1-dimensional in a sense. But the amount of little add-on features you can do to yourself, like the jet skis where you can do skid across the ground, how you can help rebuild the town if it gets destroyed with money called Zenny. The fact that you can get if you could replay the game after you beat it and get this ultimate buster weapon that basically makes you the most powerful guy ever, and it's kind of funny that they add that in as an add-on feature to it. It's just one of the great things about this game is just playing the game and just having fun with it. It's a funny game. The dialogue is cheesy. Mega Man sounds kind of dumb. He's kind of the classic anime, hero, video game hero, whatever you want to call it. He's just classic. But it's a great game. I think it's very well done, and it's very funny. If you ever get the chance, if you've never played Mega Man Legends 1, definitely play it. And if you can, play 2, Mega Man Legends 2. Sadly, Mega Man Legends 3 isn't... I don't think it's ever going to come out, honestly. So, if you hate being left on a cliffhanger, like it ends on a cliffhanger in Mega Man Legends 2, maybe you might not want to start the series. But if you enjoy the game, if you enjoy just gaming and, the fact that it doesn't bother you, that doesn't have a Mega Man Legends 3 to finish it off, go for it. Play it. Try it out. It's a great game. I highly recommend it. If you were going to ask me, should I get it? I would say get it in a moment's notice. But that's it. So that's it, guys. And everyone knows, of course, Final Fantasy 1 is number 1. Or Final Fantasy 9 is number 1. Sorry about that. But that's it. Great set of games, I personally think. I highly recommend any of these games. If you haven't played any of these games, like any particular one, try them out. Definitely give them a good gung-ho try. If I had made a top 20... There's so many great games on PlayStation. If I had made a top 20, I would have definitely had more of the other games that everyone else would recognize. But, top 10, you got to really be picky. You got to be choosy on which ones you would play on a consistent basis. And this is it for me. Other people, everyone's list is always different. But thanks for tuning in, guys. I appreciate you guys watching this. I appreciate also all the questions that I'm getting. Me and Jason are getting on the Q&A video. You know, there are a lot of great questions, so looking forward to answering a lot of those. But you know, that video will be coming out this Sunday. We will have the video response to all the questions. So if you haven't, you know, had a chance yet, definitely go to my channel, check it out. The video, you know, you can write 5 questions, of course, but definitely check it out if you haven't seen it yet. But thanks for tuning in, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video, and we will definitely see you later in the week.